Now time for the B final here at Lakeside. 19 drivers out on track for this one for what will be another 30-minute race. Mainly clubman class drivers in this one. We've got around half a dozen pro class and just one super pro driver. He'll start as the favourite. That's Sam Reed. He's in car number 4 and he'll be playing his points doubling joker. One of 6 drivers playing their jokers in this one, including our 2 front row men. Number 1, Steve Coatsworth, and 2, Alex Maguire. The others are number 7, which is Wayne Jenkins, 13 of Paul Jenkins, and number 9 of Steve Algar. The grid is formed up then, the drivers making their final preparations. The A and C finals were excellent. The red lights are on then. We wait for the green to clutch starts, and we are underway. Down towards the first turn they go then. Who's going to get the best start? Good start by Steve Algar in the middle there in the number 9, but it's number 2 of Alex Maguire in the red and white race suit who has got the best start ahead of, it looks like, Richard Allison in number 3 up into second place. Steve Coatsworth in black goes down into third. So it's Alex Maguire, one of our points doubling joker drivers and one of our 6 pro class drivers in this race, so will lead around the first lap then. He leads into the back of the circuit for the first time. Looks like everybody is away okay. In the white helmet there, starting to move up, is Sam Reed in number 4, the only super pro driver in this race, and he's through into second place as they come round to complete the first lap. The man in blue there, Richard Allison, goes down to third. Plenty of jockeying for position early on in the pack. In the green helmet there, number 11, Nick Young. And behind him, Jessica Coupland in number 12. She could be one to watch here. Of course, the leading scorers in this group starting towards the back of the grid. So it's Alex Maguire in the red suit who leads the way in kart number 2. Number 7 running a bit wide there, Wayne Jenkins, one of our joker playing drivers. 2 members of the Jenkins family in this race. Wayne number 7, Paul in number 13. They charge their way around. Plenty of laps to go though. We should get about 40 laps just over out of this race in the half hour allowed. Here's the battle for second place. Number 3 of Richard Allison holding it at the moment. Race settling in then with Sam Reed up into second place now in number 4 and chasing our race leader. Here they are coming through the hairpin section. Alex Maguire ahead of Sam Reed, and they're already pulling away from the rest of the pack. There's the battle for third between 3 Richard Allison, number 1 of Steve Coatsworth. Then in 5th we've got Paul Hibbard in at number 5. Already seen Courtney Hibbard win the C final today. They're all close there, bunched up in the midfield. Nobody dropping off at the back at the moment. Goes the fight for third place. 2 leaders have already pulled clear. It's still Allison third ahead of Coatsworth. 5th place still number 5 of Paul Hibbard ahead of, I think that's Peter Bond and Andy Hunt in the next 2 positions at the moment. Here come the leaders and trying to take the lead on the outside there for the right-hander, then cutting back in again. Sam Reed, has it worked as they go up towards the right-hander? No. Alex Maguire still holds the place. Richard Allison under fire though. Steve Coatsworth could take third place here. Not quite. They're really jockeying for position now in that midfield. Here are the 2 leaders, and we've had a change up front. Sam Reed, I think, is about to take over. Yes, he's got it. Coming through turns, the final turns of the lap. Still side by side across the line. Maguire back up the inside into the last bend there. Sam Reed taking the lead, but no, Maguire is still there. Reed up on the outside, and this time he's got him around the outside of the hairpin there. He was just later on the brakes there. Good move by Sam Reed, the Super Pro class driver. Now out in front, and there's a line of karts behind. Richard Allison holding third place at the moment, ahead of the number 5, now in 4th place, Paul Hibbard. Fairly close, lined up behind them, you can see there. Number 17 under fire there, that's Liam Booker further back in the pack. The race settling in then before Sam Reed starting to pull away at the front in his red race suit, white crash helmet, standing out fairly well in this pack. Just racing across the outside of the final turn there. Somebody running a bit wide. That was the number 11 of Nick Young in the green crash helmet. There goes number 15, that's David Hart Bogan. Further back in the order. Allison still holding third, and the number 1 now starting to drop back. That's Steve Coatsworth. Loses out there to a couple of karts at the hairpin. Number 19 there, John Chappell. He started right at the very back of the grid. So he's moved up very nicely indeed now. Looking towards the front of the field. Maybe he'll be through this midfield pack fairly quickly and challenging our top three fairly soon, making up another place there on the inside. Richard Allison loses out, so that's the number 19 coming through. He's very rapid indeed. John Chappell, 14 in there, that's Manuel Abrahams involved in this battle in the number 14 cars. He's got ahead of the number 3 of Richard Allison, so he's making a move towards the front in this one, but can he catch our two leaders? There's a battle involving John Chappell. It's him who came through there for third. It wasn't him who came through there for third, it was Manuel Abrahams, apologies there. Number 9 there, Steve Algar, going side by side with Steve Phillips in 16. But he's frantic out there at the moment, tricky to keep up with this. We'll apologise for any miscalls, but it's not too easy to see the numbers on these karts. The push and shove there, out of and nearly into the barriers there on the outside of the final turn there. One or two of them. There's Manuel Abrahams, he's up into third place now, ahead of the number 3, which is Allison. Behind them, number 19, John Chappell, is up into 5th position. They charge their way through the hairpin section of the circuit. There's the two green machines, 11 and 12. Nick Young and Jess Coupland running nose to tail in the midfield places. There's number 14 of Manuel Abrahams lapping quickly at the moment, going after our race leaders. Here's the scrap for 4th and 5th position. A couple more karts towing up behind them now. Here's the battle for 4th. Number 19, John Chappell, has now caught Richard Allison. Richard is a clubman class driver. John Chappell is in the pro class. He's leading that class at the moment. Let's just check the lap charts so far. No, it's Alex Maguire leading the pro class in kart number 2. Could be a close battle for the pro class division in this one once John Chappell, I'm sure he will, make his way up towards the front of the field. Here he comes on the back of the number 3, and he's going to take him into the last corner. That seems to be the favoured passing place, but he goes very wide on the exit there. Just about holds the place over the start-finish line. And when the 3 kart has lost it, Richard Allison clipped the back of John Chappell there. He's lost out to the number 10. That's Andy Hunt, who's gone up into 4th place now, I think. So Richard Allison is back in this midfield draft now. Now he's lost it again coming through the hairpin over the curve. What was that all about? He says he's lost about 5 places in that manoeuvre. One car's heading for the pits. That was the number 11 of Nick Young. So Young heading for the pits in trouble. He drops out of the midfield draft. In time the leaders are coming through to complete another lap. About 1/4 distance of this race so far. Plenty of action out of that final corner. That seems to be the place to be here. It's where all the passing has taken place so far. Coming through the infield section, number 13 there of Paul Jenkins, under fire from Wayne Jenkins in number 7. The Jenkins family at war. Behind them, number 1 of Steve Coatsworth. Richard Allison is in there trying to recover. He sticks the bumper in on the back of the number 9 of Steve Algar. That was more like stock car racing than karting there. Behind them, Liam Booker in number 17 with 2 wheels on the grass. We do have stock car and banger racing held here at Lakeside, of course, but that takes place on the oval next door, not on the kart circuit. Enjoyable action so far then in this B final. It's number 4 of Sam Reed, the only Super Pro driver in the race, dominating proceedings out in front. Side by side, battling through the hairpin. This is the battle for 6th position, and the number 5, that is, who gets shoved wide. That's Paul Hibbard. Fights back again. Just been pushed wide by the number 10 of Andy Hunt, I think that was. Also in behind them, number 13 of Paul Jenkins. And there's karts going everywhere. One up on the curb there. That was Alex Raby in number 6, making his Lakeside track debut in the black crash helmet there. Battling away with the number 12 of Jess Coupland now. Just holds her off, going on to the back section of the circuit. This lot are really flying along in the midfield. Loving every second of this, as I'm sure we are as well. Still out front is the number 4 of Sam Reed. There is our second placeman, Alex Maguire, with the red suit. Here's a battle between number 7 of Wayne Jenkins passing Paul Jenkins. So still family ties being ditched here, it would seem. They're under threat from Steve Coatsworth, and they're being shown the way at the moment by Paul Hibbard in number 5 as well. all over each other in the midfield. This race really heating up as it approaches its midpoint fairly shortly. This is great stuff. We're at about 1/3 distance at the moment. Number 19 there, under fire. That is John Chappell, being chased by the 14 of Manuel Abrahams. This is the battle for third, so Chappell has gained the place there, lapping Nick Young, who had to pit with a loose wheel, we're told, earlier on. So he's a lap down now, running at the back of the field. Here's another midfield scrap coming through. This is the fight for third place. Number 19, John Chappell in the white suits, chased by number 14, Manuel Abrahams in the orange crash helmets. They run wide over the curb again there. No penalty for exceeding track limits here, it would seem. Two leaders are away and gone in front. It's still Sam Reed ahead of Alex Maguire. They're both playing their points doubling jokers, so things working very nicely for them, looking for some double points at the moment. Nobody else left to fight in the midfield. They're all over each other there through the last corner again. Number 13, well, Paul Jenkins has got ahead of Paul Hibbard as well. This is the fight for the lower reaches of the top 10 in this B final here at Lakeside, round 8 of the Club 73 karting series. Fighting their way through the hairpin, very spectacular indeed. Caught a glimpse of our leaders there going through the hairpins. Sam Reed with a clear lead over Alex Maguire. 4 from 2. John Chappell now in third in number 19. Manuel Abrahams in fourth place. So not many changes up front in this one. It's Andy Hunt rounding out the top 5 in kart number 10. Slipping and sliding their way around the hairpins. Fortunately, dry conditions on this tight and tricky little circuit here at Lakeside. Somebody running wide there onto the curve and nearly into the tyres. We've got a couple of spinners. The number 7 is one of them, Wayne Jenkins, and Peter Bond was the other in kart number 8. So a couple of spins there. They've managed to rejoin. Didn't lose too many places either, I don't think. There's a battle between some of the midfielders. Alex Raby in number 6 in the black helmet in the middle of that little lot, still chasing Jess Coupland. They've been battling all race long. They bounce off each other there coming out of the final corner. Somebody else taking a lot of curb there, the number 5 of Paul Hibbard, trying to hold off Steve Coatsworth, our pole sitter for this race in number 1. The midfield clump comes through there, a few of them falling over each other at the hairpin. Swing their way through there. Jess Coupland getting sideways. That's forced number 7 out onto the grass. That's Wayne Jenkins. Nearly lost it there, and they're being lapped by Alex Maguire here in the number 2 kart. He's still in second place, but a long way behind our runaway race leader, number 4, Sam Reed. He has taken off into the lead, the lone Super Pro driver, as expected. He'll collect 50 points if he takes the win here, with his joker being played. This is the battle for 8th between Paul Hibbard and the number 1 of Steve Coatsworth. They're side by side into the hairpin. The fight for 10th place coming through behind them. Richard Allison is in there. We saw him have a spin earlier on. He's now down in 10th position. Raby one's a bit wide there through the exit of the hairpin. Seen a few karts run onto the grass there during the course of this race. Still close bunched up in the midfield. No contest for the lead though at the moment. Sam Reed dominating proceedings out front. Side by side out of the final turn again. They're still running wide there. Some wider than others, it has to be said. Here's that fight again between 5 and 1. This is for 8th place. Paul Hibbard, Steve Coatsworth, one of the closest battles on track at the moment. And the next 3 come through. The leader's in the middle of all that. Sam Reed, we just caught a glimpse of the number 4 there, and you can see the lead he's got now. Several seconds over Alex Maguire in second place in the number 2. Still in third place, number 19, John Chappell from the back of the grid. 4th place behind him is number 14, Manuel Abrahams. So no real changes up front, and a bit of bumping and boring there as we come off the final turn. Somebody else quite slow out of the turn there. Oh, he was moving out of the way to let the second place man through there. One of the back markers, Alex Maguire, safely takes the place. Retains second place, taking the back marker. There's our race leader in the white crash helmet, Sam Reed in number 4. 17 there. Liam Booker moving up on Richard Allison. Now somebody goes flying into the pit lane there. Didn't quite catch who that was. Race continues on. We're coming up towards half distance now in this 30 minutes B final here at Club 73, round 8 at Lakeside. Lakeside, of course, a home of speedway as well as stock cars and karting. The Lakeside Hammers race here. There between 16 of Steve Phillips and 13 of Paul Jenkins. Somebody running wide onto the curves there. The leaders now come up to lap this battle between 5 and 1. Paul Hibbard and Steve Coatsworth has been going on all race long. Now, have they seen the leader coming here? Give him a tap, lets them know that he's there. Here's the race for 6th place. That's the fight we mentioned between 13 and 16. Paul Jenkins and Steve Phillips. The leader trying to get through the back markers. Fight for 6th into the hairpin section. Paul Jenkins playing his points doubling joker in this one under fire. Whoops, the 16 kart spins out there. That was Steve Phillips. Race continues though. There's the leader. Sam Reed through the right-handed hairpin. And here's our second place man in the red suit, number 2, Alex Maguire, trying to lap number 17 of Liam Booker. He's already got past Steve Alger in number 9. Number 3, the next man to be lapped, which is Richard Allison. After that, he's got to be patient, deal with the back markers. As we've mentioned, there's not many places for them to safely move out of the way on this fairly narrow circuit. Traffic is becoming an issue at half distance in this B final. Lap 5 onwards, it's been Sam Reed dominant out in front. 15 cars with sideways there. That's David Hart-Bogan chasing this fight between the 1 and the 5. On the back of Paul Hibbard there. Still carving his way through this lot, the number 2 kart in 2nd place. And going wide there, the number 7 kart there of Wayne Jenkins under fire from Alex Raby in number 6. I think it was him we saw go flying into the pit lane earlier on when he went wide at the hairpin. Still learning his craft. It's his first time racing here at Lakeside in the number 6 kart. Through to the infield section, the number 5 taking some curb there, Paul Hibbard, as he continues his fight. It's been going on pretty much all race long with Steve Coatsworth, but now he's under fire from number 15 of David Hart-Bogan. The 2nd place man still having some trouble with back markers there. Number 2 of Alex Maguire. Starting to count down now. We're in the second half of this B final. Sam Reed all set for victory and 50 points towards his championship cause. Fight between the 5 and 15 has allowed Steve Coatsworth to get away. Here's the fight between number 16, Steve Phillips. He's got the race leader on his tail there, trying to make his way through. Now, where's our 2nd place man? Well, he's just coming round the left-hand hairpin now. So 2 corners ahead is the distance on the track between Reed and Maguire for the lead of the race. There goes Manuel Abrahams, our 4th place man. Got back from 3rd place Chapel now. And there's number 13, Paul Jenkins going through. Oh, and a bit of a tangle there between number 8, that is Peter Bond, number 18 of Louis Goodhue. They nearly fell over each other there at the hairpin. There goes our 2nd place man, number 2 of Alex Maguire. Very much in the second half now, entering the final third shortly of our B final. Number 11 Nick Young and 12 Jess Coupland battling it out there in the green race suits. Certainly stand out on track, don't they? They're either side of number 18 of Lewis Goodhue at the moment. Still our 2nd place man, Alex Maguire, having issues with back markers. Trying to get through there on the far side of the circuit. Coming up towards the last corner. This is where passing is possible. The lights of the QE2 bridge in the background. Very near the Dartford crossing here, just east of London. This 8th round of the 10-round Club 73 Karting Championship for 2017. Side by side there into the right hand of the 5 and the 15, still fighting it out, and finally David Hart-Bojan gets through past Paul Hibbard, but they're being lapped in turn by Alex Maguire. It's taken him several laps to get past this little lot. Maguire must be getting impatient now, especially as the number 19 is closing onto his tail now for second place. In the white suit there, trying to take the number 3, that is John Chappell. He's going for second here around the outside. This race is not over yet. Sam Reed seemingly going to win it, but who's going to be second? Come into the infield section. Here we go. Here comes John Chappell. He's going for second place. He's got it coming into the hairpin section on the number 2 car. Well, he's really frustrated with the back markers now. He's been spun out by one of them. Oh dear, number 2, Alex Maguire, loses second place and then gets spun aside by a back marker bouncing off him there. He won't be too happy there. What the dickens was that all about, he'll be saying, Alex Maguire. He's been struggling with back markers for several laps and now has lost second place as a result. So it's number 19, John Chappell, from the back of the grid up into second place and trying to chase down runaway leader, number 4, Sam Reed. There goes the number 17 car. That's Liam Booker running further down the order. He's chasing the number 3 of Richard Allison, who's been very much in the thick of things in this race. He gets past him there. There is the number 2 of Maguire trying to fight his way back up, but he's well behind second place man John Chappell now after that spin. Still Manuel Abrahams in 4th place in number 14. He's certainly getting spread out at the front of the field, but the midfield still pretty close out there. A few karts flying off onto the grass and the curbs during this race. They are certainly pushing hard. It's B final. There goes the number 6 of Alex Ravey, still making progress. Number 1, Steve Coatsworth under fire from the 15 of David Hart-Bogan, who continues his move up the order, but they're about to be lapped by the second place man John Chappell in the number 19 kart. Coming towards the closing stages fairly shortly. There's about 8 or 9 minutes of this race still to go. There's John Chappell, the white suit and the black crash helmet, watching these battling back markers ahead of him and hoping they don't get in his way. There is the third place man, Alex Maguire, in the bright red suit. Maguire trying to fight back up. Number 19, sideways there, trying to set the kart up for the hairpin. Thought he was going to be run into by Steve Coatsworth there. David Hart-Bojan is up behind them. I think he might be a lap down behind the number 19, although yes he is. A double check of the charts there. But he's spun there at the inside of the hairpin. Can't quite see who that is at the moment on the inside of the left-hander. Still all good, clean fun all the way in this B final. Round 8 of the Club 73 Karting Championship 2017. 2 rounds to go after this. Still plenty of chances for change in the points. Number 17, Liam Booker, side by side there with number 14, which is Manuel Abrahams in 4th place. I think Booker's a lap down. Alex Maguire continuing his recovery drive there in the number 2. Is that Abrahams up behind him? Yes, it is. So he could see a change for 3rd place here fairly soon. Our excellent Lakeside Marshals just crossing the track there. Thank you again to the Marshals for their services. We couldn't go racing without them. We come towards the closing stages then of this B final. About 6 or 7 minutes now to go. A spin there. That's the last corner. That's the number 17 of Liam Booker. Had a quick spin there. Gets it going again. A bit of smoke off one of the karts there. That's Alex Ravey in the number 6 in Mechanical Dramas by the look of it. He's slowing down. Yes, there's smoke there from the back of the number 6. Looks like Alex could be out of it. Losing places, but he's trying to keep going. He wants to finish this race for championship points. There goes the number 18. That's Lewis Goodhue. Giving a good account of himself, and a hand goes up there from one of the drivers there as through goes number 2, Alex Maguire. Was he just letting the quicker runners through there? Come towards the end of this one then. Yes, that's Alex Ravey with the smoking number 6 kart slowing down. He'll be heading for the pits fairly shortly, I think. This race starting to come towards its conclusion now. They're not going to catch Sam Reed in number 4. He has got this race in the bag, barring any major disaster. And he's just coming through the hairpin section. It looks like it is going to be John Chappell in second place. Just waiting for the last few places to be sorted out then as we head towards the checkered flag. About 5 minutes of racing still to go in this B final. 3 30-minute races here today, and they have been absolutely superb here at Lakeside. Thoroughly enjoyable karting action. So all the karts being the same, results are down to the skills of the drivers. Somebody just rejoining from the pits up there after a slight problem. There goes the number 15, that's David Hart-Bogan. He's had a good run through the field. 15th on the grid, of course, as denoted by his kart number. A little bit of push and shove there further back in the order. That's the battle for 4th place. We've now got just 3 minutes left to run. Manuel Abrahams holding on to 4th position there, being closed down by the number 13 of Paul Jenkins. He's going well. So no change in the order up front. It's Reed ahead of Chappell. Abrahams battling it out there for 4th place. 3rd is still the number 2 of Alex Maguire. 6th place behind them, Andy Hunt in the number 10. And up to 7th is number 15 of David Hart-Bogan. A good run through the field by him. 8th place is still Steve Coatsworth, the pole sitter. And rounding out the top 10 now, the 3 and the 5, Richard Allison and Paul Hibbard in 9th and 10th places. Hibbard being lapped there by a couple of the quicker runners. Sam Reed, the only Super Pro driver in this race, has dominated his category. John Chappell is leading the Pro class. Just looking down the order to see who is on top in the Clubman division in this one. I think it's Andy Hunt in the number 10, the top Clubman class driver, with less than 2 minutes on the clock now. There is Sam Reed with the white crash helmet, coming up to lap the number 8, Peter Bond, who waves him through. Good driving there by Peter Bond, letting the quicker runners through. Still this battle going on, and round goes, I think that was a back marker there. It was number 14, it was up with him of Manuel Abrahams. That might well have been the number 5 of Paul Hibbard that went spinning there. Couldn't quite see his number from my vantage point. So 1.5 minutes, less than that now to go before the checkered flag goes out on this B final. It is surely going to be a win for Sam Reed. Only a couple of laps left to go now. There he is in the middle of a crowd of back markers. He's got the number 6 ahead of him of Alex Raby, who's still going despite that earlier problem which saw him trailing smoke. Either trying to get past there around the right-hander. Finds the inside line. See how evenly matched these karts are. It is tricky to lap the back markers unless the driver ahead of you sees that you are there. Coming down into the final corner. 45 seconds left, so he'll have one more lap to negotiate. Sam Reed in number 4. He's lapped everybody up to 4th place now, I think. There goes Alex Maguire. He's on for 3rd place. It would have been 2nd, but for that spin at the hairpin earlier on. The rest of them will fight their way home. Alex Raby under fire from the number 2 of, the number 7 rather, of Wayne Jenkins. Behind him, number 8, Peter Bond. 6, 7, 8, all in a line. So the clock counting down towards 0. 10 seconds to go then. It is going to be a win for Sam Reed. Here he comes then into the final corner of the race. Goes past one of the back markers, Steve Algar, and it is a win in our B final. Coming up to cross the line for Sam Reed in kart number 4. He takes the flag. 2nd place it will be the number 19 of John Chappell from the back of the grid. And 3rd will go to Alex Maguire in number 2. A very clear victory indeed for the number 4 kart of Sam Reed. There goes John Chappell in the white suit across the line for a distant 2nd place. Coming through shortly for 3rd in the red suit will be number 2. There goes Alex Maguire home for 3rd place in our B final here at Lakeside in round 8 of the Club 73 Karting Championship 2017. 2 rounds to go after this. Congratulations to Sam Reed, a dominant win in our B final tonight, well clear of John Chappell, third for Alex Maguire, fourth place went to the number 14 of Manuel Abrahams, and it was number 13 of Paul Jenkins who completed the top 5. Well done to all 19 drivers in that one, a cracking race here at Lakeside.